It is a tradition that many observe at Central. Family pictures posed in front of the tall Christmas tree in the sanctuary. Each year, the kids a bit bigger. Relatives in town some years, while other years are remembered because someone important is missing. This year, we cannot gather safely in the sanctuary. That in a time when a pandemic is raging across the nation, we've decided to take steps intended to keep our community safe. And so we hope that you might hang an ornament on your tree to remind you of the connections we have to one another. That in a time of bubbles and careful isolation, to remember that we are not, in the end, alone. I've been reflecting upon what is essential about Christmas. Some of my favorite activities won't happen this year. I love being in the sanctuary on Christmas Eve. An early service with people present before family dinners, relatives arriving in town just in time for church, older folks who don't like to drive at night, and families with young ones who, even with all the excitement, should not be up at 10:30. I love being there, especially after that service, with people gathered for photos around the tree, conversations in which a new boyfriend is introduced, catching up after a first semester away at college. I miss those chances for conversation and connections, especially this year. And yet, it is still Christmas Eve. I love being in the sanctuary for the late night service. On some snowy nights, people have arrived on cross-country skis, stomping off the snow and emerging into a round room of soft candlelight, ringing the space. As the lights go down for the singing of Silent Night, with people hurrying out into the night with the words "Joy to the World" on their lips. I miss that service and all the ambiance. Yet even without that experience this year, it is still Christmas Eve. Some of my favorite activities won't happen this year, and yet Christmas is still here. There's a lot more silence this year than there is unbridled joy. Small, intimate gatherings for brief exchanges of gifts, and that oh so 2020 expression, "see you on the Zoom." In what may feel like a flip from the Christmas story told in Luke, houses and apartments feel a bit more empty this year. Not like the no room at the inn that is such a part of Luke's gospel. And yet there is a sense from the gospel story that is so very true tonight, that God chooses to enter our world, whether we humans are ready or not, in the hustle and in the bustle, but also in the silence. Philip Brooks wrote the text to the carol, "O Little Town of Bethlehem." How silently the wondrous gift is given. In a verse that reminds us how God imparts to human hearts blessings and a sense of heaven, and that where meek souls will receive him still, the dear Christ enters in. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people who like a plan, some order. First this, and then that, and then that, and then I'll be ready. Build up and anticipation. The lights go down and the drum roll begins. Then I'm ready. But that's not really how the Christmas story goes. Silently, without the drum roll, unexpected announcements, despite all our calendars and clocks with their reminders and alerts. In this year's Christmas pageant, the angels come Zoom bombing in, surprising and shocking all who hear their messages that something special is about to happen. It's all so unexpected for Mary, for Joseph, for the shepherds, even for us. We worry about bad news breaking in unexpectedly. And so we've learned to protect our hearts and mask up with layers of sarcasm and cynicism to do what we can to keep ourselves from becoming disappointed. But in the Christmas story, it's good news that breaks in suddenly, silently, fully. A complete and unexpected surprise, ready or not, for unto you a child will be born. This Advent season, we've been remembering the angelic greetings, the ones that so often begin, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to hold hope. Do not be afraid to bring peace. Do not be afraid to practice joy. Do not be afraid to be open to the possibility of love. On Christmas Eve, we remember those themes of the Advent season, but today's not the finale, but rather a beginning, another opportunity, the chance to start anew, to be open to good news. For in a world in sore need of connections and hope and goodness, to us, in a year that feels so sad and so full of challenges, good news to me and good news to you that we are not alone, that we too are part of a story, part of a song that began long before we were born. There are possibilities that are open to us even this year, perhaps especially in this year. A Christmas pageant that would not have made sense just 1 year ago. You can still watch it at centralforgood.org/stream, filmed in Zoom, of course, with an alphabetized list of worries that are keeping us awake this year. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. Another line from O Little Town of Bethlehem. Tonight is still a holy night, one that still voices joy and provides a peaceful presence. To you and yours, wherever you find yourselves tonight, to you, whether you are anxious or gleeful, good news. For unto us, for unto this world, good news to all. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.